Hello, and welcome to yet another episode of Akash Mehta and Friends. As we near the end of this first season, I don't mean near the end, matlab hai abhi 1-2 mahina baki, but still we're getting there. I'd just like to thank all of the patrons for patroning this podcast. We've shut AMF patrons on the website for now because it doesn't make sense to take your money for 10 episodes. We will, however, be. I don't know, man. We are trying to figure out. देखते हैं अगर सीजन 2 में कुछ नया पेट्रन स्ट्रक्चर करके अगर पैसा निकल सके तो कर सकते हैं. But right now it seems unlikely. But hey, while we are here, we're going to make the most of it. And to make the most of it, I would like to call on a phenomenal personality. Phenomenal. He's a personality and he's phenomenal. And you've definitely heard him and you've definitely seen him. And if you've not seen his stand-up, you've seen him in an ad or a sketch. And if you've not seen his ads or sketches or stand-up, then you've definitely heard of his quiz. Please welcome on the man with 2 last names, Kumar Varun.
Hi Akash with only one last name, but a very common one, Mehta.
Yeah, both are common, first and last name.
Yeah. Akash Mehta.
Yeah,
we have Akash Gupta, we have Saurabh Mehta. So yeah.
You know, it's so sad when I type in my phone ka predictive text also, if I type Akash, तो Gupta ही आता है. मेरा फोन भी कॉमिक्स था नहीं देख रहा है पूरा टाइम.
Amazon से ऑर्डर किया होगा फोन.
Hey man, it's nice to have you on this. I'm sorry I couldn't get you earlier because obviously we had all sorts of like issues that came up earlier to get you. But now we are here and it's just better late than never.
Yeah.
You are also still recovering. Are you fully recovered now?
Few more.
You are
days.
not well, no?
Yeah, 3 days to go.
Okay.
3 days I'll be fine.
Okay, I'm glad. I like the certainty with which you say that.
Yeah. Yes.
When I fall sick, I usually say, I'll be fine by tomorrow morning. And then next day morning, I'm like, I'll be fine by tomorrow morning. And
I'm very, very good with schedule and all. So I know that itne tarikh se itne tarikh tak main bimar rahunga. So I'm very, very methodical in my sickness project.
This is all the MBA coming out.
Yeah.
So where do we start this story? I don't know where to start this story. Everybody knows you went to B school. Everybody sort of knows the story after B school to a great extent. I mean, we talked about it on Varta Lab as well.
Yes.
But
yes.
Where does the story start for you? Like, where were you born? Who were your parents?
Oh, wow. We're doing all that. I've never done that on any comedian's podcast.
I don't think most people...
No one has ever asked, like, where were you born and whatever.
Yeah, because that's why this podcast doesn't get views, no?
Why will it get views? Akash, I'll tell you something. And I was ranting with someone else, and this might be completely off topic, but this is how internet works, okay? So I did an interview of like 40-45 minutes about my life stories, okay? And it was about, like you just said, your school, engineering, MBA, comedy hunt, AIB, acting, random chiki, everything. They finally cut it in a 30-minute episode, released it. Very nice. The title of the episode is Life Story of Kumar Varun. Beautiful. Everything is great. You know what the thumbnail says? The thumbnail has my photo and it says, I had a girlfriend in the first year of engineering.
Yeah.
That's the thumbnail. And I'm like, is that my life story? This is what is this? And I didn't even realize for a long time. I saw it very recently. It came on my YouTube suggestion and I'm like, it's my face. It says, I already had a girlfriend in first year of engineering. How is this the summary of my life story? And I was very disappointed. And you're right. That's why they get whatever views or traction or algorithm.
And I'm okay with that. You know, I get it. Like, the one line I've recently realized and which is giving me peace in these times is that an artist has things to say and a content creator has to say things.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like they have to play that algorithm constantly because, that's how they function. And I feel like मेरे को एक independence है with the algorithm because I don't care only beyond a point. It's like you've been doing this for long enough as well now to know ki, like, you know, what the audience wants changes so often.
Yeah.
And it's just easier to do what you do anyway and let people who are into it find you.
200%. It's such a coincidence that literally last night I was telling a friend about the same thing as to what as an individual, as an artist, my approach in every social media game or platform is the same. I will do what I feel like doing. I'm not going to do what the algorithm or what the circuit or what the system wants you to do. Because that's the reason we quit a nice like paying job and I'm doing this.
Exactly.
Then if I have to come here and be dictated by algorithms and people, then I'm like, dude, I failed. There's no.
And no, and it's like it's a situation where you're. I don't want to. I don't want to make TV on YouTube. Like I stopped watching TV, for a reason. And now if I go to YouTube and I see TV again, and I see just people behaving like they're on TV again, what's the point? What did we fight for? Like what were we bothering for? And also like why am I entertaining 12-year-olds? I don't want to entertain 12-year-olds. I have no interest.
100%. In fact, it has reached a level where I consciously avoid doing things. That has become my mantra. I literally legit see what majority is doing and not do that.
Yeah.
For example, you've been on my quiz. The second I started quiz, 99% of people were like, "Isko live stream kar. It is a stream thing. It is a stream thing." And I was like, I will not do it. I will not do it. I will do it on a Zoom with like 50 people, and then I will put an edited version out later because that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
I will not do. I will not make reels. I will not do it. I will not do characters. I am an actor. I legit can do it, but I will not do it. Not an Instagram celebrity.
Yeah, dude. Like, and my whole logic with YouTube has always been that I want to put my work out there so that when I do a stand-up show, I sell tickets.
Yeah.
Okay. And yes, it's great for your numbers on YouTube and to get branded stuff and all that. But like, fact is कि वो लोग ticket नहीं खरीदने वाले.
Yeah.
13 साल के 14 साल के बच्चे हाँ वो 10 साल के बाद टिकट खरीदेंगे. I'll wait for them to grow old enough to understand what I'm doing and then come for a show if they feel like coming. Which usually this kind of stuff gets me a lot of hate. Like recently I put this thing on YouTube community section where I wrote just this long post. Like it gets disheartening sometimes, and so I wrote a post about that and like 99% positive this thing. But like there's always this 1% even in that space where somebody will say, this is not graceful of you. How can you complain? How dare you complain? I'm like, यार पर मेरा YouTube channel है, मेरा community section है, मेरा feelings है, और मैं ही ना बोलूँ तो फिर it defeats the purpose.
Correct.
Could have just become a lawyer. Like
similar. We started Random Live, Rahul and I, where our agenda was very clear. Not agenda is not the right word, but our structure was very clear that we'll have a guest, we'll talk for like 45 minutes, 1 hour, and then we'll see super chats. Because we really, really respect the fact that people are taking out time and money,
yeah,
and paying us. So we will give them respect and read every fucking super chat that comes on the channel. We will do. And people kept complaining. They're like, "Oh, tum log se super chat padta rehta hai." I'm like, dude, you can't complain. You're watching it for free later. Aram se
I swear.
उसने अपना time निकाला. Live देखा, पैसा दिया, उसको मैं इज्जत ना दूं. And then again, you 12-year-old who is coming and being a Rajiv Masand about my stream and giving. तू जा ना, अपने channel पे मैं अपना काम नहीं करूँगा तो कैसे होगा यार?
I swear.
And we continued doing that. मतलब we were proper thick-skinned about it. We did 50 lives and we continued doing it.
Are you still doing lives now?
No.
Random Live is done now.
Yeah, we took a break. Like you said, like. You should, like we always believe that you should take a break when it's still on top, like it's still doing well.
Yeah.
Instead of just like, so we at one point Rahul and I were like, let's take a break, let's figure out something. So we stopped last week.
Okay, that's great. But now coming back to the actual question, where were you born?
Yeah. So my childhood was in Jamshedpur, Akash. My family was completely dependent on my grandfather for a reason that someday we will talk about. But as of now, we can just summarize that it was about him, and he was posted there in the irrigation department, like he was a government officer. And I was born in Jamshedpur and spent a few years there, and then that's where the journey started.
Jamshedpur is very interesting to me because my dad was also born in Jamshedpur.
What?
Yeah, my dadi's side is all of them have lived in Jamshedpur for several years, like for 2 generations, I think, almost.
Oh wow! Okay,
yeah.
So my roots are in Purvanchal. In the sense, and when I say Purvanchal, it's Eastern UP, Western Bihar. So most of my relatives and my roots are in that Ganga Kinare, that entire portion. But so all my mummy, all the relatives are somewhere there. But obviously, most of them have moved here and there, like everywhere. But roots are there. So I can speak Bhojpuri, like basic Bhojpuri. I understand that culture. And that's why the latest web series Parivar that I did, the accent that I have is completely home ground for me.
Right,
And
right.
I was like, oh yes, let's do this. So yeah, but I was born in Jamshedpur, spent a few years there. Then later for school, like I moved to Delhi much later.
Okay.
And
So,
yeah.
like, you were in boarding, or did your family also move?
So okay, that's a oh wow, no one has done it, Akash. I've never spoken about all this. Oh my god. Okay, I have to come to terms with this. My story always starts. It's like saying that it always starts with Vito Corleone in New York. No one talks about Sicily and like Corleone and like Italy. Oh my god. Oh, okay. Okay. So the circumstances were such, Akash, in my childhood, that I could not, for some reason, be with my family. Okay.
Hmm.
So I had to be outside, like no. And so I actually went to a boarding school when I was 4 years old. I think 3 or 4 years old. I was
Yeah.
barely like when I went to school. मेरा date of birth actually एक साल बढ़ा के दादाजी had to send,
Okay.
which is so against the norms. Usually लोग birth date घटा
Yeah.
के
Yeah.
mine had to be increased because the
Oh, birth date ghatana is only when you want to be a cricketer. Otherwise, it's not that necessary.
under 17 under 15. Mera it had to be increased by a year, like on my like official birth certificate, because I could not even stand when I went to school first.
Oh
I was
no.
holding the table, is what my mom later told me. And the principal was like, ये तो इसको कैसे स्कूल ले जाएंगे, ये तो खड़ा भी. And like he can't stay at home, he has to be sent to school. And so I went into a school, वहाँ से couple of years. And then around 4 or 5 years, I was sent to a boarding school where I spent a few years. It was in a place called Devghar in Jharkhand.
Uh-huh.
Okay. That is where I was, far from my house, and I did not know what was happening. I was very like, this was that portion of life where I was just, very Tare Zameen Par types life, where I used to just be like cry in the night, thinking someone will somehow notice that this kid is crying and send me back to
Home. Yeah.
But then you realize after a week or two that this is not working.
Yeah.
This will not work. And when a new kid comes and starts crying, you're the veteran now. नहीं होता है ये, चुपचाप पढ़ाई कर. So that happened. Then later I moved. So my grandfather retired. Then I moved with him for like 2-3 years. उसके बाद I went to Delhi.
Where was that?
Okay. Okay. So let's
Delhi to
start.
Devghar.
No, Jamshedpur to Devghar.
So, acha, Jamshedpur to Devghar.
Jamshedpur
Okay.
was my child, like start, like LKG, UKG.
हाँ.
That was Jamshedpur. Then I went to Devghar for
Devghar.
my school, where I was still like 4th standard.
Huh.
Okay. Then I went to a place called Ara.
Okay.
Where I was again for a few years, like 6th, 7th, 8th, wo wala part.
Okay.
My reference in my mind is always movies and cricket. Okay.
Right.
So I was in hostel during Bazigar, Khalnayak.
Okay. Yeah. Fair. Yeah.
And then I went to Ara with my grandfather, just around DDLJ, Tu Kuch Kuch Hota Hai.
Right.
Around 96 to 98. And then I moved to Noida to my uncle's place.
Okay.
And that's when, and since then I was always there. I was in Noida, where I finished my schooling. And then from there, I took like entrance exam, went to Tamil Nadu for engineering. 4 years there. Then,
Tamil Nadu mein, what is the FMS, no?
No.
No, you were in?
It's called Sastra. Okay. It's in a place near Trichy, Tanjavur. Okay. So studied there.
Was that a weird shock? Like all your life having spent on that side of the country and now suddenly you go to Tamil Nadu?
Yes. So, okay, let's get into that detail. So I was...
I'm trying to find what you are willing to talk about more. So I'm going to keep
talk
poking.
about everything now because you've opened not talked about it all. So I can talk forever. So again, when I look back in my life, I was my roots are in East, grew up in North, studied in South, and like
ended up in the West.
Worked in West.
Yeah.
So in fact, recently I was reading some random shit where they were like, people who are Scorpion, again, one of those things. People who are Scorpion always do better far from their birthplace.
Ah.
Oh, interesting. Interesting. Just some random shit I was reading. Anyway, so yeah, that was a shock, Akash. Because what happened was always in Hindi belt or whatever. went to engineering, where again, given my family circumstances, no one accompanied me, to college. So there is,
Right.
imagine this guy who is 18 years old, 17, 18 years old,
Mm-hmm.
packs his bag, and this I'm talking about 2004.
Hmm.
Okay, so no Google Maps, no IRC like mobile app,
Yeah, yeah.
no smartphone, nothing. Leaves his house with cash for school, college fees, packs his saman waman, bag leke, and figures out his way to reach Tanjavur from Delhi.
Huh.
Okay, so with a notebook and pen. And then I basic internet था, remember cyber cafe वगैरह आ गया था.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I went to cyber cafe, figured out like train and okay. So this from Chennai Central to Chennai Egmore, I did all that. Then took a train, somehow reached Chennai Central. I had a friend there in Chennai. I
Okay.
called him from a PCO. He came to receive me, and then he took me to Chennai Egmore, and I took a train from there to Trichy, there to Tanjavur, and then you don't understand the language at
At all.
all. It's
Yeah.
not even like you've reached Gujarat or Maharashtra where basic
Where at least the other people also speak some semblance of Hindi.
some
Right?
semblance of Hindi, like Bengal or Odisha or even Hyderabad. This
Yeah.
is Tamil Nadu. This is Tamil Nadu, and this is not even Chennai. I've reached Tanjavur, which is like zero Hindi, and I get down and I just don't know what to do. And money, I still have that habit where I have to account for every rupee that I spend. So I'm just scared of spending and being koi mera kaat na de. Like I shouldn't take an auto which takes like $300, and later I realize that 40 rupees mein ja sakta tha. All that should not happen. So I finally reached Tanjavur, and I'm just like I'm in a completely alien place, and I'm like just looking for some Hindi somewhere, like some North Indian guy who has also come for admission. I'm like, hello, namaste uncle, मैं भी आया हूँ आपके साथ auto में चला जाऊँ. I did that already. I actually did that. I shared an auto with a guy, reached college, figured out my way, and so the next 4 years, when I look back, they were great. It was a great decision to go there for multiple reasons. I'll tell you a few reasons. First, because my family was very, very of this school of thought that South has better colleges than North, which I still agree with.
Okay.
They were very like UP में engineering will यहाँ पे क्या politics होता है college में, ये होता है वो होता है. South better है, which I agree, like largely agree with. So that happened. College was great, discipline, everything was sorted. I learned a completely new culture. I was exposed to this culture. I, as a person, anyway, really like adapt and try and learn things. You know that. So I was not one of those North Indians, because there were some North Indians who on the very first day were like, "Fuck this shit. हमारा दुनिया अलग है." Like they just script for 4 years. You know, ये क्या
Right.
idli do, क्या language, क्या film, क्या ondu ये वो. But I completely like. First day I was like, I have to learn this.
Yeah.
I have to learn this culture. Next 4 years, I learned their language. I can read Tamil. I can write Tamil. I saw every good movie that came from 2004 to 2008. I properly learned their culture. So that's why even in comedy, I so much like I can have so nice conversation with, Sumukhi, Naveen Richard, Kenny, of course. Naveen and I still go to watch every Rajni movie that releases. First day first. That's a ritual for last 4 years now.
That's lovely.
Kala and like Kabali and like
Robot also you must have seen, no? Then to.
Yeah, Robot 2.0 to Kenny, me, and Naveen, all of us went together. So I learned like completely new territory, and I learned a lot. And it exposed me to a completely different world. And this North Indian view of South, which is like, yeah, kya madrasi log haath se khate hain. That's your only this thing.
Yeah.
Arey, kya idli dosa. That's it. I used to come back to my school friends like in semester break, and they used to be like, "Arey, kya hai? Kya haath se kha raha hai?" I'm like, guys, that is a great place. Tamil Nadu is I'll give you one small example, Akash. In Tamil Nadu, when I was there, you could travel from any place to any place within the state at any hour, like at any time, any point. If you want to go to point X to Y, you can. Full safety ke saath, with like little or no money spent. You don't have to plan and shit. Like in Noida, where I was, or in UP, Bihar, any North Indian state, that would be a nightmare. Like if you decide at 2 a.m. that you want to travel from Kanpur to say Allahabad, it will be a nightmare for you. You'll have
Absolutely.
to take some train shit, some bus. बस नहीं मिल रहा है, ये है वैसा है. Tamil Nadu was insane in terms of it.
The roads were also good. Like the early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s, in for whatever I've read, also were kind of a renaissance for the state as well, right? They were doing really well. I think it was when they started handing out alcohol for every single election that things started getting worse.
Yeah, maybe. But I remember, like we used to travel in groups with girls, and we never had any safety issue. We could just decide in the night that let's go to Ooty or Kodaikanal. And we'll just leave. We'll leave at 1 a.m. Trichy. We'll reach Dindigul.
Or take a bus types? Like
take a bus from one point to another, to another, to another. Like if you want to go to Bangalore, easily start from Trichy, go to Salem, then from there go to Bangalore.
Yeah.
What a life. Amazing. Yeah. I was very impressed.
And did you end up? So you did your MBA in what? In marketing?
So this was engineering.
Sorry, this was engineering. First was engineering. My bad.
Yeah. This was engineering in biotechnology.
ये क्यों किया? कुछ मिला नहीं और कि यही करना था?
हाँ, so उसका स्टोरी ये है कि पहले कुछ मिला नहीं था because rank थोड़ा नीचे था, so I did not get electronics, computers and the like, main top mechanical. But I was told that you could change your branch when you go to college, and you could. So I got biotechnology. I went there, and then last moment I did not change because I heard कि biotechnology में बहुत scope. Like everyone was like, this is the bomb.
ये पता है, it's so sad कि ये मेरे टाइम पे भी लोग यही बोलते थे 2011-12 में. वो स्कोप पता नहीं कब आएगा ये देश में.
कब आएगा? I still do that अपने college show में. I'm like, कहाँ है स्कोप? आया क्या?
बायोटेक में सिर्फ माइक्रोस्कोप है.
Right. So 2004 I'm talking about, where everyone was like, biotech is the future. So why do you want to leave this? And Sastra, I mean my college, was one of the best, still is one of the best biotech campuses in the country. So I was like, oh my God, why do I lose this opportunity? Let me just continue. And I did 4 years of engineering. By second year, I think I understood that there's no scope and everyone is going to go to an IT company, TCS, Wipro or Infosys. And I did go to TCS after that. So biotechnology, never. Like
that TCS experience seems to be a very, I mean, I think it's second highest employer after Indian Railways in the world.
Yeah. India, for sure. At some point, largest private employer. I think there was some list with Walmart and TCS, but I think TCS would have exceeded by now. TCS took like 1,700 people from my college in 1 year, in 2009 or 10. They came and they recruited 1,700 people from one campus.
क्या करता है TCS? मुझे तो लगता है TCS सिर्फ शोज में लोग भेजता है बोलने के लिए कि हम लोग TCS से काम करते हैं. I don't get it. Who are they consulting? Who is taking their services? And what are this consulting about? Like, I have no idea what that organization does. I am so far removed. I thought I was in commerce and then did law. So मेरे लिए तो TCS was just genuinely for me. TCS is literally कि हाँ हर audience में 2 लोग रहते हैं. वो है TCS.
I fortunately had like good time at TCS because मेरे को coding नहीं करना था. Or when I joined TCS in Delhi, so again geographically I came back to Delhi after my engineering. So again home ground. I had great exposure for 2 years at TCS because coding नहीं करना था, और finally I worked with 3 of India's best government departments, like the most high profile departments. Okay. I worked with Ministry of Defense, then I worked with Ministry of Home Affairs, and then I worked with Ministry of External Affairs. So 2.5 years, I was exposed to like proper how government works, like proper confidential work. Yeah. And like I used to work in Sena Bhavan, which is our military headquarters. Yeah. I used to work at Sena Bhavan initially for like 3-4 months. Then I worked with Home Ministry for a year, more than a year and a half, in a building I can't even say in public. Yeah. So I worked in a building that is India's most like secure building. There, where our client was P. Chidambaram, which was insane. Like I saw him at work and I used to hear about how he's a great minister, and like every official used to just praise him about how he's a taskmaster. He comes to work the first, leaves like the last man, and he's very observant. Like great things about Chidambaram. And then I moved to Passport Seva project. So all the Passport Seva Kendra that you see now.
Yeah, that's all TCS. Yeah,
all TCS. I went to that project, which again Shashi Tharoor was our client as State Minister for External Affairs. And again, like insane story, government stories. And now when I see Passport Seva Kendra, I feel good. Like, this used to be part of my Excel sheet.
Yeah.
I
You
didn't
worked
know
on
about
that.
Bombay, but I had a map and I was like, कहाँ कर सकते? So I still remember ऐसा Malad, Andheri, Kamla Mills, Lower Parel. When I saw Lower Parel, में finally after movies, I was like, oh my, this was there in that PPT. PPH Delhi, कि वो यहाँ पे passport सेवा केंद्र होना चाहिए.
Yeah, tell me some of these insane government stories. Don't just say insane government stories.
I don't know how many of them can I say, but overall, just to be working with people who you just see very fictionalized version on TV
Yeah.
uh, and cinema. Like I used to work with people who have actually worked as spies. Have worked with people who were actually on the border in Arunachal. So you tell me about stories of Indo-China conflict in Arunachal, stories of just their past, stories like we used to work with some SPG guards. So stories about ex-prime ministers and like presidents and their life behind the scene. Yeah, I I can't go into details obviously there, but just like
You know what this thumbnail is going to be? I'm going to make I'll tell you what the thumbnail is going to be right now. It's going to be a voice bubble where you say, I ate tandoori dragon. That's what I'm going to put.
But most of my experience was great with ministry for two reasons. One, again, somehow Tata Group has this great respect in government corridors and otherwise also. Like my family was very proud that I was working in Tata Group. Tata ke liye kaam kar raha hai. They did not understand obviously the difference between Tata Steel, Tata Motors, and TCS.
Yeah, but when you grow up in Jamshedpur, you automatically have a lot of respect for Tata.
That too. So yeah, life came full circle. Oh, I never realized. So Tata ke liye kaam kar raha hai. Even government offices, like despite being a non-government employee, once you're roaming around the offices and someone sees, अरे कहाँ जा रहे हैं, and then they see Tata का card, they like, oh आप Tata से, very good. And I'm like, अरे wow यार, this is good.
And you would have been what, 20, 22, 23 at this time. This is your early 20s.
Yeah. I 23 I joined TCS, 23 to 25, 26 I was.
That's quite cool to me, man. Like when you're that young and you're in such close proximity to power.
Yeah.
And that must really shape your understanding of power so fundamentally different from what the rest of us feel.
Yeah, 100%. Because we have, especially now in this world of social media, we have so many connotations about that government, about how government works, about how ministers work. And it's so easy to just criticize things. And P. Chidambaram said this wonderful thing once, which applies to our life also. He said after one of the attacks, is that for a government, you have to be right every single time. But for a terrorist, you have to be right just once. And that is your success parameter. You have 12611 and you're like, okay. But we prevent 2611s every day. But like no one notices, right?
Yeah. The measure of you doing your job is that nobody realizes that you're doing your job.
Yeah. So that he said, and it was like, that applies to us also. I'll tell you a very random incident. I was doing an Insta live, okay? And there's always like 99 good comments. There's one idiot who will come and write some shit, okay? And I wanted to say something. In my mind, I'm like, साले तुझे क्या लगता है हम क्या इतना पॉलिश शरीफ नहीं है अंदर से, ठीक है? हम बहुत खराबी लौंडे हैं, तेरे को आइडिया नहीं है. हम भी दिल्ली में बड़े हैं, तो 4 साल इंजीनियरिंग हॉस्टल वाले, तेरे को इतनी मतलब मैं I can retort to you in a way that you will uninstall Instagram. But I cannot do that, right? Because once you do that, once you flip, you're like, okay, while your audience or your so-called trolls can do it पूरे दिन.
Yeah.
They are the terrorists in this case. In terms of analogy, they can पूरे दिन गालियां दे सकते.
Yeah.
But you गाली 5 once, you're like, oh, आकाश मेहता का वो clip viral हो गया, वो एक audience member वो गाली सुना रहा था.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a random analogy I thought of. So back to this. So I saw like government machinery working day in and day out, and its flaws and its the good things that they were doing. In terms of, for example, Shashi Tharoor. Like I used to see outside world of how people were just make fun of him saying cattle class. Because they did not understand like where he's coming from. I used to have high-ranking government officials who were like, I've been in this ministry for decades. And this is the first time where a minister enters a meeting and looks at the notes. And he's just like, ye kya hai? I'll handle this, guys. Just like, don't bring this. We have a minister who knows more than the official.
Right.
He was like, he had some meeting with some Netherlands or like some countries, like a team. And they had made a brief, right? For the minister saab ke liye brief banane ka aadat hai na, joint secretaries and everyone. They gave him the brief and he's like, dude, what? Like, don't worry, I will handle.
Interestingly, now that you bring that up, friend of mine who works in a ministry, I will not name what ministry, but like he works in a ministry, and because I don't want to tell you gender also, and they were telling me about how the minister that they are working under right now, the main thing at the end of the day is the color scheme of the PPT.
Hmm.
अगर कलर स्कीम अच्छा नहीं है तो वो अप्रूव नहीं होने वाला है. देयर इज नो लुकिंग एट द डेटा इनसाइड द पीपीटी. It always boils down to the color scheme for this person. So I'm like this stark contrast in terms of
Yeah.
ministers so evident. But how was your experience working with the bureaucracy more than the ministers? That's where I'm really interested, because this country is,
Yeah.
I feel like they are a silent screw चाबी लगाते हैं वो लोग पूरे देश को.
Yeah.
Nobody really ever blames the bureaucracy, but the fact is that no matter what government policy is there, it ends up coming down to the bureaucracy to execute, right?
Yeah. The country is run by them, which most people don't realize. You keep blaming the netas, but the IASs and the undersecretaries and joint secretaries and the Babu clerk are the ones who are actually pushing the file or not pushing the file. So it was very interesting, because as a tech guy, it was double, like it was challenged at two levels. One is because you're dealing with bureaucrats, which are supposed to be working in a certain way since years.
Yeah.
And then you're asking them to do something which is completely out of their comfort zone. So, if I was a vendor who had to just go and put like bulb in their offices, my task would not have been that difficult. Maybe approval mein time lagta. But here you're just asking them to change their entire habit.
Yeah.
Like, like you're saying that, ki passport ke liye abhi, whatever, people don't have to come to you, and there'll be someone else who will just scan the PDF and approve, and you just have to approve. And so that was very, very challenging, very challenging, because even the people who you're dealing with have been doing this for, I don't know, 30, 40 years. They're on the verge of their retirement. They have no motivation as such. So you'll have to look for people in that system who are motivated enough. That used to be the trick as a private partner in this project. And that's what our bosses used to do. Like whenever they used to come, they used to figure out like who are the people in this system who are enthusiastic about this change. And there'll always be some people. When you're working with, say, Home Ministry, if you're working with 5 top class IAS people or IPS, you'll be like, okay, this guy is more like, he has a Facebook account, and he like, he's one of those ki kaun sa server lag raha hai? Like, okay, he's our guy. So you always go to him and be like, sir, yaar, camera lagana hai, sir, server lagana hai. So he'll be like, yeah, cool. So you have to, those were some insane learnings that I had as an individual in those years, where, people management, trying and seeing like how to.
And it's interesting because you're doing people management with people who are in a far greater power position than you constantly. Right? 100%. It's not like a boss controlling employees or something. It's you are actually trying to get work out of the people above you at any given time.
It's unbelievable. I left a meeting once with a guy and I was talking as a normally कि sir ऐसा इसमें approval कर दीजिए ना sir. नहीं sir realist है ना वो vendor sir वो wire लगाता है sir. He's like अच्छा और तुम बताओ अच्छा क्या है? Some half an hour conversation, I go out and then someone tells me, do you know who he was? I was like, no, I don't know. He's like, no, again I can't take name, but an ex-prime minister was traveling abroad for a while for a very important thing for a week or two. And he was allowed to have only one government officer with him all the time. And he was that guy. So he was like, and half an hour with someone who was like as close to possible as India's like most powerful person.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God. और मैं उनको ऐसे बोल रहा हूँ कि सर कर दो ना approve sir क्या है sir. So many such incidents where I was just blown away with some of the things which I can tell you off record, which was very, very, very interesting things that I learned there.
And after this, what made you want to still do an MBA? Was this not was there a feeling of not being fulfilled here as well?
No. So my life story, whenever I look back, and you again are part of that story, I have to say, is because I have never really proactively done anything. There has always been some person in my life who has pushed me to do something. Some person who saw something and was like, why don't you do this? Always. Till, okay, so like, let's like go back. And like I told you, my family situation was such that you figure out there was something there. Okay, so my entire life, my purpose was to start working and earning as soon as possible. Okay, so
Absolutely.
that was the motivation throughout. So that's the only time till I got that TCS job in my engineering. That was the only time where I was actually working towards something.
Hmm.
Once I got that job at TCS, I had nothing to work towards because I was sorted. My family was sorted. Everything was sorted. The
Yeah.
moment the first paycheck came in 2008, September, October. Okay, Rock On, Kamine. That one I will always give you movie reference. Okay, 2008
Yeah.
when that like started, I was like, I am sorted for life now.
Hmm.
Don't want anything else. I called my mom. I remember I was in balcony in Noida. I called her, my office के बाहर, and I was like, मम्मी अब हो गया, life sort हो गया. And that day I was like, I'm done. अब मुझे कुछ भी नहीं करना.
Hmm.
I'm done.
Was there when the role you were working in, did you see at that point also that there would be a career progression? Like, did you see in, because I know you are done at this point, but was it the kind of job where you would keep getting promoted as well if you had just stuck around?
Yeah, I knew I'll have a linear growth, and I was
Yeah.
very happy with. Like, I saw like middle management in the office, and I was like, I'll be this guy in 5 years. I'll be that guy in 8 years.
Right,
I'll
right.
be that guy in 12 years, and I was very happy.
Right.
I had no aspiration. I was getting very, like, I was very happy with these stories where I'm just sitting with guys and talking about Rashtrapati Bhavan में पता है वो ऐसा jogging करता है, एक बार वो ऐसा swimming pool गिर गया था, हमने क्या बात कर रहे हो? I'm having the last time of my life. I'm just sitting and chilling and like making like India में 67 passport सेवा केंद्र होना चाहिए, तो इंडिया में इतना, Mumbai should have more, Delhi should have more, and whatever was some analysis. I'm very happy. I have no aspiration of like even going to an on-site job. That's the top thing that every IT has. कि मैं बस US चला जाऊँ, पैसा कमाऊँ, ग्रेटर नोएडा में फ्लैट खरीद लूँ या नवी मुंबई whatever. I never did that. I was very like, I'm so happy. I was getting 22,000-23,000 per month. Cut कुट के I think 18-19 आता होगा शुरू में. And I was very happy. And then I got so then someone like really pushed me, and she was like, you're better than this. The very
This
classic.
is a girlfriend.
No, up tak, so I got married in when I was in TCS.
Okay.
Within a year of my engineering, 2008, I finished my engineering. 2009,
This is an
I got-
arranged marriage?
No. So this is the thumbnail that I was talking about.
Ah,
This is
okay.
So first year of engineering we met, and 4 years of engineering, 1 year of TCS. We were calling in TCS also. And 2009 to 2008 is when our engineering got over, when we were both 22 and 23, we were married.
Man, that's crazy to me. That is crazy to me. Like I hear, and it's not like, I'm not saying you're crazy, but I hear this from so many people. And I can never get over this कि like तुम college में किसी को मिले और तुम, because like this is the conversation I have anytime when somebody's dating at a young age, right? Like when you're young, you're like a plant that's growing, right? And you know वो रास्ते पे वो पता है वो grill लगा देते हैं plant के आजू बाजू. I don't know if you've noticed that. Was a circular.
Yeah.
So everything around you, your family, your education, these are all of those make up that grill. You know what I mean? They are the bamboo in the scaffolding around your plant. And when you add a life partner, that's like adding an entire massive chunk into that, you know, that thing. And it's not that to say that it's going to restrict your growth, but it's going to shape your growth very significantly. To have a significant other in a very serious position in your life at that state, you know. But in this case, I guess it turned out really well for you because she is the one who motivated you.
She motivated me properly. If not for her, I would have continued in TCS very nicely for years and years. It was her who kept saying throughout, and very cliched thing to say, but like that's what an ideal life partner always does. Is like, no, you're better than this. You can't sit and work in TCS. No, you can't sit and work in TCS. And in various ways, like she used to keep motivating me with just simple as a friend, like as your friend for 5 years. Very friendly thing where like, please यार cat wait कर लो ना यार, कर सकते हो तुम. Even emotional level where she used to be like, मैं घर वालों को ये बोल के नहीं आई थी कि मैं TCS वालों की TCS के and that was like, oh okay, मैं उनको बोलती रहती हूँ, वरुण बहुत इंटेलिजेंट है, वरुण बहुत कुछ कर सकता है, और तुम भी TCS में रहोगे, मैं भी TCS में रहूंगी, तो फिर they'll be like, ये क्या है यार, ये कुछ तो अच्छा करो कुछ. So she really pushed me towards going for CAT, and so I was like, okay, let me give it a shot. And then when I started studying for CAT, like preparing for CAT and like MBA entrance in general, my dream B school was FMS. Okay, FMS Delhi was my dream B school. Okay, not that I went there and in retrospect I'm saying this, but everyone who was my friend then knew, and I'll tell you why. Some of the reasons. One is because see, I was married, so I did not want to leave Delhi and go and live in some hostel for 2 years, like Ahmedabad or Kozhikode or like Calcutta. So I really wanted to do my MBA in Delhi. Secondly, I did not want to live in a hostel, and if I crack FMS, then I won't have to live in a hostel. I will be a day scholar. Thirdly, and the most important thing was, FMS has the world's best ROI in terms of the fees that you pay and the money that you make after. FMS's fees when I was there was 10 grand a year. I spent 10,000 on my MBA in first year, not just me, my entire batch. And again 10,000 next year, and maybe Sara expense add karke some lakh, 2 lakh, 2 years mein you are getting MBA from one of India's best B schools. And your package is like some 16, 17 lakhs. So I was like, why, when I'm married now and I don't come from a background where I can take itna loan and then worry about paying loan.
To give listeners some kind of a reference point, how much is an MBA at IIM Ahmedabad, which is supposed to be the premier MBA institute in the country?
When I was there, I think it was 10 to 12 lakhs. Must have increased now.
Right. So we're looking at like a less than 1/100th almost, right? 100th the cost, right?
Like legit, I'm not exaggerating, and I do this as a joke on stage. But like summary of that joke is that I actually went and asked the exact amount. Ki ma'am kitna dena hai? And she was like itna. I went across the road, went to an ATM, took money out, came and paid my MBA in Karodimal College, which is like Amitabh Bachchan ka college. I went to Karodimal College, took money, came and gave like, ma'am, this like, annual fees of your MBA was withdrawn from your TCS salary ka ATM. Not even like now.
I used to do this joke in Dirty Stance. Ki, I would ask the audience, ki, how much did you pay for your education? How much did you pay? How much did you pay? How much did you pay? And I would be like, see, itna sabne alag paisa diya, par sab aaye to idhar hi na. And everyone would laugh. And I'd be like, don't laugh so soon also. Because sab idhar aaye hai, par ghar kahan ja rahe ghar aur kaise ja rahe ghar, wo difference hai.
Correct.
But so MBA at FMS, good times. Delhi, everyone I've known who has studied at FMS has nothing bad to say ever.
Yeah, 100%. Because in my case, the added extra layer was life was going so much according to plan till then. Because like when we were in engineering, our plan, our thing was I'll do an MBA, you do your MS, okay? So you'll do MS, you'll take GRE, do your MS. I'll take CAT or GMAT and do an MBA. Then we'll like 4 or 5 years later, we'll tell our folks about us, and then we'll get married, whatever. Everything went for a toss, and we got married within a year. Now we were like, okay.
What was the motivation to do that? Why not stick to that plan? That plan sounds way better to me.
Yeah, because our family found out, and then and they panicked sort of. And they asked us कि engagement कर लेते हैं. हमने कर लिया. And then we were like शादी कर लेते हैं. Like अच्छा ठीक. We were anyway like madly in love and really wanted to be with each other as soon as possible. So that happened. Sorry. So everything was everything went awry. Like we did not know what we are going to do. But then this part of the plan fell into place where I cracked MBA, and the plan was that she will try and take a on-site thing. So that she doesn't necessarily have to be in India, and she will earn like much more. So, normal middle class thing that one of us will not earn for a while.
Right.
One will earn more. Right. And that completely fell into place. So she went to London, and I started my MBA.
Okay.
So वो बहुत सही, like 1.5 साल in MBA was very, very according to plan. But yeah, like you said, no complaints. FMS was great.
And post FMS is when did you get placed out of FMS, or did you work and straight to Bombay?
Straight to Bombay. So I interned at Mahindra Group, and I got a PPO, which is like the dream for any MBA student in India, is to get a pre-placement offer from where you intern at. Okay? Right. So I was interning at Mahindra, and I got a PPO. And so my second year of MBA, Akash, I have a job from like one of the best companies.
Like बीवी है, नौकरी है, पैसा है.
मैं कुछ भी नहीं किया मैं. Like the proverbial नौकरी छोकरी thing, like in college कि उसके लिए तुम जाते हो. I had both. Like I was properly settled, and now she also came back to India because she said, अगर तेरा PPO हो जाएगा, तो second year में तेरे पास बहुत time होगा, तो I'll come back. And she came back. So my second year of MBA, I was like, क्या है ये? Full chill life, like nothing.
Yeah.
Like I was like I had a job in my pocket, and the PPO was announced very early in second year, so I didn't even have to wait in anticipation. Like June it came. For the entire year, I was like, okay, I no motivation to.
Yeah. And then, so your wife was doing what at this time?
TCS.
Yeah, TCS only. And did she transfer to Bombay when you moved to Bombay?
Yes.
Okay, so now both of you are here.
Yeah.
And this is where you and Rahul met. And this story is the famous story that everybody knows.
Yeah.
You met Rahul. Rahul was joining after you, no? I think he joined after you.
Rahul was already in Mahindra.
Acha, he was already in Mahindra.
Yeah.
And then the whole talent show, ye wo. Yeah. And you were always hosting at this time. You were always Did you do any theatre during this time?
Never
Never did any theatre though.
Never in my life. I've always been on stage.
Yeah.
Like as a host, as an MC, or like a debater, or like head of cultural team, head of Hindi Lit team, head of English Lit team, quizzing, hosting, MCing, but never like as an actor.
Right. And what was... That's what's interesting to me. But I think we're almost at the end of this half. So we should get back to this in the second half. We're going to take a quick break, ladies and gentlemen. And after that, we'll be back with more of Kumar Barut.
This episode of the AMF podcast is brought to you by नया स्मार्टफोन परिवारों को दूर करे घर बैठे-बैठे.
Hello. We are back with the second half of Akash Mehta and Friends with a very calm guest, Kumar Varun. Last episode was with Naveen. And Naveen talks very... Naveen तो Richard has to said no. He said अपन मिलके ही करेंगे.
हाँ, even I want to do that, but ठीक है, मिलके भी कर लेंगे दोबारा.
हाँ, कोई नहीं. My plan is to visit everyone that we've done in the first season 2-3 years later.
Yeah, fair.
And just have that conversation again and be like, how much has changed in terms of what you feel about the things you feel.
Nice.
Yeah. But Naveen Norona, he speaks very fast. He's very cut answers he gives. And this is like a way more leisurely pace at which to do a podcast. But sahi hai. Each guest comes with their own vibes.
Yes.
Last half we spoke about all the things that happened until we got to the random Chicky Bum forming. And I think we should just fast forward through random Chicky Bum forming. हो गया, अच्छा है, फिर वो मैं आ गया, फिर मैंने स्टैंड अप करवा दिया, सब सही गया, वीडियो भी वायरल हो गया, डार्थ वेदर का टी शर्ट पहना, मैं खुश हो गया. And now you find this space of sense of stability in the thing you do, and it gets knocked over by something like COVID, right? I mean, at least I think your revenue stream didn't take as much of a hit in terms of live shows as say someone like me, who's, for me it's like maybe 85% of what I make is from live shows. And so but then there's still a lot of adaptation that has to take place. And plus you had to go through this entire, the marriage ended, and then I remember I came to your last birthday. Where I got pretty fucking I got so drunk at your birthday. And I remember, and Bassi can hold his liquor way better than I can. So whenever Bassi and I meet and we end up drinking, it always starts off with maza aa raha hai, and then it just becomes Akash drunk hoke kuch bol raha hai aur Bassi bas haan kar raha hai. So at your party also, when the cake was being cut, मैं और Bassi बस कोने में, और मैं कुछ बेवड़े के माफी में बस कुछ बात कर रहा हूँ, और Bassi धीरे-धीरे अपने responses दिए जा रहा है. But man, that was a great birthday party. But that's
birthday party, since you're talking about it, that is the one thing I'm most excited about in life.
Really?
Like birthday, that's the only festival I celebrate in that sense. I'm not looking forward to Diwali, Holi, Durga Puja, anything. My birthday since my childhood is one thing that I so look forward to. Like literally, I know now that 44 days are left for my birthday. I'm like that. Like Bassi, interesting that you mentioned him. Bassi changed his travel plan to attend my birthday party.
Yeah.
He was doing a show in Gujarat. He had to go to Delhi, but he came to Bombay.
Yeah.
How much all my friends know that, birthday is a big deal. And I legit, like, I have an Excel sheet. I prepare, like, who all am I inviting? And
right.
And you've been there. So, like, literally everyone is there.
Yeah.
Like, crazy. I'm so excited. Like, right now about my birthday party. Like, oh, man, it's coming.
I'm amazed, man. It's for me, it's the opposite. Like, not that I like celebrating other festivals, but like birthdays to are like, they're just pointless to me. I just feel like the idea ki like हाँ ना हुए ना पैदा हो गया ना अब तो जिंदा हो अब देख लो एवरी डे इज लाइक इन दैट सेंस आई फील लाइक एवरी डे इज माय बर्थडे बिकॉज एवरी डे लाइक आई एम incrementally a different person than I was before.
Oh no, mine is completely opposite. Like not just my birthday, every friend's birthday, I will wish, I will send a nice message, I will post on Instagram, I'll post a story, everything I'll do. Because I'm like, ye din tera hai. That's my completely opposite to what you just said. It's like, oh man, today is my day. Like no one can take this away from me. 19th November is my birthday. Like,
Does it also like was the feeling shared with your family? Like were they also as enthusiastic about your birthday growing up?
no, my friends have always been excited about it because they know that he'll plan something. Like my engineering, everyone knew in the hostel कि मेरा birthday है, so there'll be grand party in my room. And there'll be like fucking everyone will come. इसके birthday party में तो electronics वाले भी आएंगे, computer science वाले भी आएंगे. This happens now in my birthday party. इसके birthday party तो web series वाले भी आएंगे, OML वाले भी आएंगे, इसके भी आएंगे, इसके भी आएंगे. So that has always been a recurrent thing.
I feel like for the longest time I didn't give a shit about birthdays, and now most people don't even know when my birthday is, and then they don't even wish. And then because मेरे घर पे ना like the attitude towards my birthday just stopped after maybe I was like I think 7 or something. And plus my brother and I are born on the same day.
Oh.
And my brother is very enthusiastic about birthdays. So I have 7 years gap, right? So like for Aditya's birthday, like so many of my birthdays have been spent figuring out stuff for my brother's birthday. Like that's usually my midnight. My job at midnight on my birthday is to open the door for my brother's friends.
Yeah, got it.
क्योंकि उसके दोस्त आने वाले और मेरे दोस्तों like I mean हाँ ठीक है जो भी है.
You're the Lal Bahadur Shastri in that sense. You're the Lal Bahadur Shastri of that.
I'll take it. I'll fucking take it because that's one of the best. I'll take it. I don't mind it. ये साल तो बर्थडे पे मॉम डैड डे like my birthday gift this year was my mom saying तू घर पे contribute तो करता नहीं है कुछ. Like that was the birthday gift. And that shit sticks with me. I think like it's a very I realized earlier that I used to just repress the idea of it, but like you know the more I talk about my birthday, I realize कि हाँ यार like I would like to be able to celebrate my birthday. I would like to be able to celebrate anything. But like I was talking about this to Apar Shakti also in the podcast. Like I don't know where it comes from, but the entire belief system is geared around the idea कि it's just another thing. Like there is no concept of celebration only in my life. Okay. Like there's no idea of I can't bring myself to celebrate. Like I'll feel guilty if I celebrate also.
Okay.
I'll feel like what am I celebrating? I still have so much left to do. That's always the the attitude. Because I think my mortality also weighs on me more than it does with most people. Like for me, the most comforting thought is the thought that, oh man, one day you're going to die. So if you're going to die and you don't know when, then the only choice you have is to do as much as you can right now. And if you're going to sit and celebrate, then when will you do the things? You know?
Mine is the exact opposite. Like, we are all mortals, we're going to die. So let's celebrate. Like every year, one more year, let's do this.
Yeah, so that's... Oh man, but you know, I found out about the divorce at your birthday.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I am not generally somebody who gossips. So whenever there is a gossipy conversation about a comedian going on, I usually leave the room or I just like switch off. I don't want to know I don't want to know any information about somebody that they are not offering to me themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like this, it doesn't make sense. And usually you know how it is with comics. Because if they're talking about you behind your back, then it's not necessarily, nobody's going, yaar, ye bahut mast aadmi hai. It's always some shitty thing. Even if they're talking about a nice aspect of what you do. And that's one thing I absolutely fucking cannot stand. Like when you just, like 4 log open mic ke green room mein baith ke Kenny ka bitching kar rahe. I mean, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude? Like at least that's a person who's doing something with their life. You know what I mean? Like it's like this, the attitude of like dekha dekhi. It's your own insecurities bouncing onto the other person, right? Like you feel you're not good enough, so you think that he also must not be good enough to be getting what he's getting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I found out about divorce at this thing, and it's interesting because I had met you through the course of the year, and at no point did it feel like you are going through this intense thing. Whereas with a lot of my friends, when they've gotten divorced, I've felt it through the year, even though if I don't meet them that much, but it like you can see it weigh on them, and you handled it pretty smoothly.
Yeah, I think so.
You can pass this question.
No. Because like you would have realized in the first half of this conversation that there's no, it wasn't bad. There's no animosity. It's always good things to look back. Like I legit, when I talk about like why I went for an MBA, it was because of her. Why entire this comedy thing, there was always a lot of support. Like everything happened in a very friendly, nice, like because we've been friends. We were friends for 14 years. Like we were engineering classmates. Like we met each other when we were 18. Like two kids who just left their respective houses and gone to an alien state, like trying to study together and trying to figure out things. So it's that kind of a friendship where you're sitting and figuring out C++ or Java mein kaise alag-alag coding hota hai. So that is the basis of this. So when we finally realized that we'll be happier separately than together, that's the mature decision that we came to. And like there was no no as such one big event or catalyst that led to it. So and that is why there is no like animosity. Everything was very amicable. Like I remember when we went to the court, the counselor there was like confused ki kya chal raha hai. I remember it was very filmy. Like the two of us are sitting and she's like okay,
and they have to ask those questions, ki husband marta nahi hai.
Yeah, there was a questionnaire. And we were all both so chill about every question.
Yeah.
Like, okay, whatever. Are you guys happy? Like, like, any demands? No, nothing. Do you have any property together? No. Do you have kids together? No. Do you want anything from? No. Do you want it? No. And then she's just looking and she's like, "Ye main simple jo mera sample file hai. That is it. This is your case. I just have to take printout of the sample because I'm not making any changes in this Word document." And we were all like, "Yeah, it's cool." So.
But if it's if everything is so amicable, then I have to ask what caused it? What was it? Was it just a difference in priorities?
No, I think it was just okay. If I have to really think about it, which I have not for a long time, you just grow out of a relationship. If I have to put it in very simple terms, because you've been together for 14 years, so you're like, okay, maybe I don't know, abhi ho gaya. That's one. Second. And the more important thing, especially in marriages, more than a relationship or a dating thing, is that what is stopping you? Why not? One of those things where most of the times we don't end a marriage or a relationship is because there are many things that stop you, right? For example, if you're in a college romance, invariably you're like, okay, break up kar lete hain. And one of the first things that come to your mind is, abhi to sabko pata hai hamare bare mein. Abhi dost log ko kya bolenge? And those are very small. Just magnify this to a marriage. Like, oh, we have a kid. So you talk. You're like, oh no, let's not do this for the kid. Or like, oh, we have like, I don't know, there is house and there is, I don't know, life is so intertwined together that the so yahan pe in our case, the exit clause was very easy in that sense.
Right.
So we were both living our life and we both had very similar career paths.
Right.
We were both engineers and we both moved to Bombay. I started doing something not to do with engineering, etc. And she also started doing that and she became really successful. She still is one of the best travel photographers. And like बहुत तुच्ची बात बोले तो she got Instagram blue tick before I did. Like one of those, like we're both like साथ में we are working and we're like, oh अच्छा. So it was very cute, very nice. Like I was fully like with her in terms of her travel, this thing. अच्छा तुम article लिखो साथ में बैठ के edit करते हैं. Let's send it to First Post and BBC and Guardian. Let's see where it gets published. And she was also like, हम लोग मैं और राहुल sketch बना रहे हैं, so she's like, you can do this, you can do that. There's still some sketches where we have her voice over. So it was very like SS. And then finally we realized कि अच्छा ठीक है यार, let's अभी like I don't know, this proverbial spark or I don't know.
That's fair. I think, if anything, I'm quite, this is a case study for how financial independence makes so many things easier.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, when both are financially independent, that in itself is 90% of the problem is just like sorted out there, because you are not insecure about what will happen after the marriage ends.
Yeah.
Because even if you had a kid in this scenario, like the fact that both of you would be equally able to provide for the child is just perfect, right? Like that's really what you would worry about anyway. And a lot of the fights that I see when it comes to marriages are over alimony, are over the fact that there should be maintenance and what kind of maintenance and all of that jazz.
We didn't have any of that. It was very opposite of plug and play, where we were like, ho gaya.
Yeah.
And she had her priorities sorted, like in terms of where she looks herself, and I had very sorted कि मुझे बॉम्बे में ही रहना है, मुझे यहाँ रहना है. And so it was very nicely, like obviously there was a lot of emotional things but things that I'm not talking about right now, because you know it's not.
Yeah, you don't have to open that. Yeah.
You don't have to like get up one morning and be like, hey, okay. No. It took a lot of time for both of us to come to terms with this, especially. It's like college farewell thing, you know, when you know in your final year कि college खत्म होने वाला है, so you know हाँ ठीक है खत्म तो होगा ही, college है होता है, but then when the farewell comes and that they start playing यारो दोस्ती and like oh college होता है, so that did happen. We both of us went through like many months of trying to get used to this new life. But like we did overcome, I think.
Did you guys go cold turkey from each other for a while during this in terms of communication?
Yeah, we did.
That I think really helps, no? Because if your only counterpoint to ease the pain of separation is the person you've separated from, and this happens with relationships also, I've noticed, you know, like with girlfriend, boyfriends also, where if you're gonna just keep talking to your ex about how lonely you feel without your ex, it's not gonna help anybody's case.
I'm a proper cold turkey school of thought person in anything in life. Like I'm proper cold turkey. Like in relationship also, like right now when I talk to any friend of mine, I'm like, the day this ends or whatever happens, I will be cold turkey. I'm not we can be friends still and we should be comfortable with each other in the same room. I'm like, no, nahi hoga. I am completely like, I'm proper eternal sunshine of the spotless mind person. Like, khatam. That's like, I believe that's the best way.
I love these references. We've gone from, we did Bollywood references, we did Lal Bahadur Shastri reference, now we are politics, now we have come back to films. I love it. In this, Abhi, the most recent thing that you've been working on your own is the quiz. Which I think is an excellent this thing, and you are an excellent quiz master. It's also though what I absolutely love, and this is the one thing most people don't realize about quizzing. They think that you have to remember everything all the time. It's not that. You have to be able to deduce answers. That's really what it is, right? Like if you are even a little bit inclined towards quizzing, you understand that a good quiz question already has the answer inside of it.
Yes.
Which is why I end up, unless you believe YouTube comments, in which case मैं हर चीज Google करके बैठा है और and I you know, just for sake of the audience, I actually texted Kumar and I said next time मैं कंप्यूटर से 3 फीट दूर बैठेगा, because my mom woke me up randomly in the morning and said तू cheating कर रहा है, क्विज में cheating कर रहा है, and I'm like नहीं क्यों किधर. It gets damn stressful. The one thing I really wanted to talk about, which I don't think most people realize, is that the FMS quiz team, the quiz club, is it the quiz club?
Yeah, quiz club.
They also contributed a lot to the quiz questions.
Yeah. So the first edition that you saw on YouTube as of now was completely me. But the ones after this were like these 2-3 juniors of mine, 4-5 juniors of mine. And it's almost... you take time when you bring like new people in, because you have a certain way of working. So now by the end of the last edition, I think they've contributed almost 30% of overall question.
I would have thought it would be more, but this is even more impressive for you, man. Like you've 70% is still all you.
70%, yeah, 60 to 70% still me. Sometimes more, sometimes less. Like sports, I think they contributed almost 40%, but general edition was still me, almost 70-75%. Coming back to what you said, so I have always been quizzing, Akash, since time immemorial. Like when I started growing up, and I talk about this with my close friends, and now with you, I've talked about so many things that I've never talked about. Might as well talk about this also. I was in a family where we were embarrassed about a lot of things. Okay, so this was one of those things which was our defense mechanism, which my Dadaji always was like, you can be the किसी भी group में, किसी भी room में, किसी भी class में, you can be, people can say you're the poorest, people can say you're whatever, the least whatever, जो
घर
भी
का
खराब
सीन
कर
whatever, हाँ.
कि तुम सबसे यूजलेस हो whatever, but always remember कि knowledge पे कोई वो नहीं होना चाहिए. Like when it comes to this, I want you
Yeah.
to be like नहीं, this guy knows things.
Yeah.
Like he will come, वो शायद साइकिल पे आ रहा है और बाकी लोग गाड़ी में स्कूल आ
Yeah.
रहे हैं, बाकी लोग ऐसा फैंसी कपड़े पहन रहे हैं, तो स्कूल ड्रेस में ही दिन भर टाइम बिता रहा है. You're going to coaching also because you don't have clothes to change and all that. But like when it comes to some random shit like about Indian politics or international sports, you have to be the guy. Okay, that's how he like. So I remember he used to just call me and ask questions when I was 8 or 9 years, around like 8 to 10 years old. He inculcated this habit of just, you have to know things. So every time I see anything, and that still is after like 20-25 years, I just read about it, or I have to know.
I agree. I feel that entirely. There is a anxiety to not knowing that you don't know something.
Correct. Exactly same.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I don't want anyone. People can say he's a bad comedian. People can say he's a loser. Whatever. But I don't want people to say कि stupid है. Because I'm like वो नहीं हूँ मैं. वो नहीं हूँ. उसमें मैं तेरे से लड़ लूँगा. I just know things. So, okay. So बचपन में I remember like when I was talking to you about the hostel thing when I was like बच्चा. I remember one incident where I was just walking and I saw some newspaper का cutting पड़ा हुआ था और उठा के मैं पूरा पढ़ लिया. So till date I remember Filmfare Awards of that year. I know best music Anu Malik for Bazigar. Best singer Kumar Sanu and Anu Malik for ये काली काली आंखें. So I remember also I started reading. Dadaji used to just call and say कि चलो बताओ इंडिया का डिफेंस मिनिस्टर कौन है, and I have to answer like Jaswant
तभी
Singh.
कौन था? जसवंत सिंह था.
We're talking about 13 day का वाजपेयी गवर्नमेंट. Like अभी तो ये है, बट अभी पिछले हफ्ते जसवंत सिन्हा था सोच में, बट अभी चेंज हो गया. अभी हमारा एचडी देवेगौड़ा है, so it's to be like that. अभी पी चिदम्बरम. So all that used to happen, but in terms of so I was always this knowledge seeker or what. I had to know things. But in terms of quizzing, and this is what I tell a lot, this story is where this shift from North India to South India played a huge role. I'll tell you how. Because every region, again, just like comedy, quizzing has its own flavor. Like, you know, the North Indian comedian का एक certain style है. Bombay comics का अलग style. वैसा quizzing में भी था. So school quizzing in North India was very, like you said, you know or you don't.
Yeah.
चल ये बता. तो ये नहीं आता. And I was I was fairly successful school quizzer also. Like I won so many quizzes in Noida and like Meerut and Ghaziabad, Delhi, Western UP and Delhi zone. When I went to Sastra, my engineering college, and I was like, I am a star quizzer, dude. मैं फाड़ देगा इधर आके. Like bring it on. And I went to first quiz in my college. मुझे question ही नहीं समझ रहा था. Because first of all, I had never seen as a paragraph वाला लंबा question. I was used to very like cut. इसमें क्या इतना लंबा question? And then I was like, अच्छा, okay, अच्छा कुछ hint मिलेगा क्या? And they gave a hint. मुझे hint भी नहीं समझा. And I was like, ये क्या हो रहा है यार? I'm supposed to be a good quizzer. And then the hint, I remember the answer to that question was Arnold Schwarzenegger. Hint that he had given was RHCP. Because RHCP, Californication, and Governor of California. I was like, I have never. I'm like, okay, this changes everything. And then the next 3-4 years, I understood this school of quizzing, which I largely attribute to Bangalore, Chennai school of quizzing, which is very like, how do you deduce thing? How do you put funda? And that is where I've learned, like you perfectly said, that's my filter. Like I don't ask हाँ ये बता. There's always like यार ये क्यों पूछ रहा है यार?
Yeah. अगर वो वाला quiz होता था, I would not even have made it past the first round.
Yeah, correct.
Like if you just come to me and say, what is the capital of Yugoslavia? I'll be like, भाई मैं जा रहा हूँ घर, मैं बैट लेके.
इंडिया का थर्ड प्राइम मिनिस्टर बताओ. Like नहीं ना, कुछ फंडा देना. Like give me something.
Because I think it's also about how one accesses memories. Most people don't understand how you access your memories. It's not a direct, it's not a file folder situation. It's like a through.
Correct.
You know, that's why I'm always better at past questions. You know, because I have those 2-3 minutes to just like in my brain just go through. Okay. इसके around में क्या क्या याद है मुझे? Okay, उसके around क्या क्या याद है? उसके नीचे क्या क्या याद है? And then you get to it.
Correct. And when you quiz थोड़ा बहुत, then you also know कि ये क्यों पूछ रहा है यार? कुछ तो ये okay अच्छा ऐसा वैसा हो गया. this is interesting. It's not
Yeah.
always memory based. It's not. I will never ask a question कि बता सचिन तेंदुलकर ने कितना टेस्ट मैच खेला है. Like,
Yeah.
dude, यार ऐसे नहीं होता है यार. Please
Yeah.
यार. Speak ना यार.
But that way, my brother, he had gone to Bonvita quiz and all. Like he was quite into it. He was very serious about it. And मेरे नसीब में वो सब था नहीं. Because by the time I got to that age, Bonvita quiz contest भी बंद हो गया था, I think. और मेरे स्कूल में कुछ नहीं, स्टेट बोर्ड चुपचाप पढ़ाई करके तुम घर जाओ. And if any extra curricular you want to do, you figure out what you want to do. You only plan it and you only execute it because there's nobody around you to do it. So when people like you do this in my adulthood now, I suddenly feel like, oh, there are other people like this in the world the whole time. Like,
Yeah, that's why when people comment ना कि अरे ये क्या, there were many, like since you talked about YouTube comments, of course तो वो सब तो है ही कि ये cheating कर रहा है. Anyone who wins is cheating, by the way. If you go by YouTube comments, Vishal Dayama has cheated, Srimoy has cheated, you've cheated, Rohan has cheated, everyone who has done well. Kanan has cheated in semi-final because he won, did not cheat in final because he did not win. So okay, वो चल रहा है, that's fine. But a lot of comments are also like, ऐसे कैसे ये लोग को पता है? ऐसे कैसे? How do they know things? They don't understand that it's not just about that you're a quizzer or something. It's just that you've been aware of these things over the years.
Yeah.
People like you or Rohan or Neville, or like Kanan, Biswa, you've read things, you've watched things, you've been exposed to things. And that is why the questions are never ki, iska scientific name batao. It's not. Like when you see something, you're like, acha, ye aisa ho sakta hai. There's a lion and there is a movie house. Okay. So वो रटा नहीं है तुमने, but you know that you've seen MGM के movie के पहले आता. And that's how. In fact,
one of my favorite questions of your quiz was the one in the second one where you talk about the haircutting salon. You asked a question about haircutting salon in Tihar jail, the butterfly saloon, na? नहीं.
I don't know the name now, but like Tihar jail का salon का फंडा.
Tihar jail, हाँ. And I just and that was one of the few questions in that quiz where I was like, I had no concept, I had never read about this ever.
But it's so deducible because it says meeting, special meeting every week.
Yeah. And when somebody else had, and you could tell, ki like, okay, this is the person, I don't know who got the answer right, but whoever got it right.
I think Hussain Dalal got it.
And I could tell, ki like, I just felt like, like, I wish I had also read this. I wonder where he read this. I also want to read what he read to know this. And I think the biggest problem here is that most people consume things. They just consume them. Like just, देख रहे हो लोग पर वो लोग एक्चुअली देख नहीं रहे, और पढ़ रहे कुछ पर वो लोग पढ़ नहीं रहे. एंड इनफैक्ट आई कॉन्स्टेंटली टेल दिस टू पीपल, स्पेशली नॉन कॉमिक्स की, लाइक इफ यू ऑल एक्चुअली पेड अटेंशन टू द थिंग्स यू वॉच एंड लिसन टू, यू वुडंट फाइंड एनी ऑफ आवर जोक्स फनी बिकॉज यू वुड सी देम कमिंग,
got it.
Like because you would actually be listening but you're not, you're just so busy just like in the flow of it कि तुम्हें realize नहीं हो रहा है कि ये setup दे रहा है, ये punchline दे रहा है.
Yeah. Correct.
And I think that's one of the things that really aid you in your pursuits as well, because as somebody who's never acted, the way you took to acting was so quick and so like with the, and honestly like Rahul doesn't have shit on you when it comes to acting. तो like गुजराती में एक फ्रेज है कि वो उसको एक खाई जाए फ्रेम में, लाइक वो तू उसको खा जाता है. Like your acting is so overpowering to Rahul initially, at least in the first few these things, because Rahul has a slightly caricaturish kind of acting, but you I know in your head you're the character when it's happening.
Yeah. So I agree with you that since I don't just ऐसा ऊपर से, I absorb everything, and that is why when people say, hey, how come I can't believe you never went to an acting school or drama. It's because I've been watching people. I've been watching everyone and absorbing everything. So every time someone gives me a character, I know, acha, this is that guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me bring that
you can
guy.
also agree about Subbu's acting. It's okay.
Subbu he's a comedian. So he does the things that I can't do. Like AIB sketches, he's like, some of the things that he does, he's very, so he's not an actor, but very like, hey, so sketch वगैरह में he's like, absolutely gold.
Yeah.
But so you're right. So even in terms of content, I always like properly sit and like, if that's why a lot of people are like I started reading Sapiens. And I'm like, it'll take me years to finish that book, dude.
It took me a year. It took me a year because I had to keep pausing and going and reading the stuff that he's talking about.
100%. So
Oh,
I'm
man.
like, I see people in like, oh, मैंने एक महीना पढ़ लिया. I'm like, genius हो यार तुम लोग, because I
Yeah.
can't. I'm legit like one chapter or something I've finished in like 4, 5, 1 month or something. फिर वो थोड़ा पढ़ो like, oh shit, okay, थोड़ा पढ़ते हैं, थोड़ा देखते हैं.
Yeah.
ये ऐसे ही like, that's how you maybe remember later. That's how you gain more context. You gain more
Yeah.
perspective. Any newspaper article, anything. It just helps to like read up more about it. कि ये क्या बोल रहा है, ये क्या कर रहा है.
Yeah.
And that's why when people like Biswa and I like Too Fast Too Curious, that's one good thing that we have started where we actually read up and do it.
Yeah.
Because that's the whole point. Like if you're consuming our content, we should also be responsible कि हाँ भाई तुम कुछ अच्छा सुन रहे हो, we are actually adding value to your life.
I swear. You know, for my brother and me, your podcast is how we revise. Like it's the one place where you have collated all the relevant facts of that subject, and I go back to it and I realize. Same with Crash Course History on like, just any of the Crash Course videos on YouTube. If you've seen that channel, it's where I go to revise. Like every people will be like, तू ये देखा हुआ वीडियो 10वीं बार क्यों देख रहा है? Because वो मेरे को देखना पड़ेगा, वरना मैं भूल जाएगा ये चीज. So मेरे को बस remind करना है अपने आप को. You know, or I'll get into an argument somewhere with somebody about something, and then like even 1 week later, I'm still reading up about that thing.
Yeah.
You know.
Same.
That's nice. Is you've spoken a lot about your Is your granddad still around?
No. So last year in January, 2019 January he left. So that was a very a time.
I'm losing you. I think your internet has slowed down.
Oh, internet has slowed down. Is it better now?
Yes, much better.
Can you hear me? Okay. So no, grandfather passed away last January. That was a time that I go back a lot as to how I survived. And that is maybe at some forum or maybe in the 2-3 years later when I come back to your show, we'll talk in detail. But I cannot believe how some things just happened together at the same time. Because my entire life has been defined by my grandfather. Every single thing
it feels like
that
it.
person. Okay. And then, so he was, and you were born with your parents and grandparents and all, right? So he was the one thing that God had given me along with my birth.
Yeah.
And the only other significant person who I acquired in life was my wife.
Your wife, yeah.
So these are two most important people in my life. And within it, I don't know how everything just happens in life. I was in Singapore with her, and that's when we were finally discussing the final stages of us, you know, finishing the marriage and everything. And so obviously these were troubled times where we were like, yaar, it's ending. All that is happening. And you're going back and discussing. It's very, very, one of those awkward conversations are happening and all that. And at that point, I get a call that Dadaji has passed away. And I came back to India, and literally, I'm not kidding, one day on 17th Jan, we went to court for the first time, where you file and you get 6 months to come back.
Yeah.
And very next day, 18 Jan, was Dadaji ka like Barsi or whatever you call it.
13th day, yeah.
13th day, 12th day, 13th day, whatever. So I could not believe the timing of all this. I was like, what? Suddenly, I felt everything is over. I was like, I can't go like, abhi isse niche kya jayenge? Like, I was like, abhi kya? What else? Like, when I used to talk to my closest friends then, I used to be like, abhi kya yaar? Sab khatam hi ho gaya? Kya chal raha hai? How is everything gone? Like, suddenly, within a span of like a week or two, you're single, like you're alone, and your grandfather has passed away. Like, who am I living for? What am I doing? I could not be like, now so I look.
I've lost you.
Things were fine after that. But when I look back, I'm like, dude, kya chal raha tha wo? Kya time tha? And I remember. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
So on 18 Jan, all this happened, and in exactly 2 weeks, I was supposed to shoot my first ever stand-up this thing in Bangalore. Okay. And I spoke to Rahul and I was like, yaar, kaise karenge yaar? Kaise hoga show yaar? How will I go on stage and do all that? And Rahul was like, if you don't want to do, don't do. But it's not that it's live. Let's just do. If it doesn't work, we'll not release. It's fine. We'll anyway just tape and we'll see. And I was like, okay, but मैं ऐसा गंजा हो रहा हूँ. I'm talking all sorts of things. And he's like, अबे छोड़. So then दादाजी का everything happened और गंजा हो गया. For some reason, professionally, next few months, which personally were the worst. I met you and I met a lot of people, but I used to carry that persona ki, hey, nice, everything. But like every night I used to be like, kya ho gaya? All that. But professionally, things just kept happening. Like good things kept happening out of nowhere. And that is why I look back and I'm like, time heals and some things just happen. Like this happened. And then I recorded my first ever stand-up video. 2 videos I recorded. And we released these months. And they
were
both
huge.
They were huge. Like the first video, the very first debut video trended on number 1.
Yeah.
And like अभी trend नहीं होता है हम लोग का उतना यार. बहुत कचरा भर गया YouTube में. You trend at like whatever 10, 20, 15, 7. But one I did not believe.
Yeah.
Like it started ऐसा ऊपर धीरे. And Rahul and I were going to shoot for Pushpawali. I remember Biswa had called. And Biswa was like, buddy, how does it feel trending over Bhabhi ji ka something? That happened. And within a few weeks, I got a call for a web series called Mr. Das. Okay. And Mr. Das was the first ever web series where I was offered the lead. Like the eponymous character. Like I was supposed to be Mr. Das.
Yeah.
And I'm literally there in every scene. Every frame of that series. Yeah. And I was like, ये कहाँ से हो रहा है? Like out of nowhere it came.
Yeah.
I had done a lot of work with those guys earlier. But this is the first time they called and I legit picked up the phone and I'm like, हाँ बिंदा, किसका दोस्त बना रहे हो इस बार मेरे को? Because I had 3 दोस्त का role with those guys. Like मंजोत का दोस्त, नवीन का, सूर्या का दोस्त and all that. And then नहीं इस बार तो तुम ही हो, तुम्हारे दोस्त होंगे. I'm like, what? And I'm like, अरे ये क्या हो रहा है? So back to back, good things kept happening throughout this thing. And by the time birthday came, when you came to that birthday party, I was okay. Like,
you were pretty much on top of it.
Yeah.
I think it's also just the fact that when you've experienced great loss is when you are at your most vulnerable and you're at your most emphatic. You know what I mean? Like at that point, when you are at rock bottom, you understand others' pain just as much as you possibly ever can because you're feeling it. You're actually in a state of absolute horror and just disbelief. And I mean, the way you describe it, it must have felt like the ground was swept out underneath you, right? Like it's just...
Oh man, yeah. Someday I will like explain, like I don't want to make this too emotional, but I will explain that one night of 7 Jan 20.
You can make this emotional, you know, it's not like...
That night is too much. That night is too much to handle. But I'll tell you about that night someday or maybe somewhere. But I could not believe what was happening in life. It was crazy. That one night, oh my God.
But I think that's what makes for the best stand-up comedy in the world. Because comedy is nothing without empathy. You know? Like we all laugh not because we're laughing at each other. We all laugh because we relate to what the person is saying on a very deep subconscious level. So even if you come and experience this kind of just a horrific experience, and then you go on and bhale you're talking about engineering life, but the empathy with which you spoke, because I've seen you do that bit. I saw it when you did it at Kuku. A lot of the same stuff was going on. Yeah. It wasn't the same person. It was really not the same person. It was just like, whoof, like suddenly you leveled up. Like it was just like, what? Hey, ye itna bhi acha nahi tha. It was just immediately so much. And I'm not even an engineering student and I was drawn into it to a great extent. And I was like, man, you're not talking about engineering. You're talking about your feelings.
Yeah.
You know, and without saying it, you're saying all of it somehow.
Yeah. Ironically, the very first video was called Engineering and Marriage just after going to court for divorce. And that was one of the last like fun conversation we had with each other when we was like, chalo, baki sab theek hai, okay, nikalti hu and all that. And I was like, ek second yaar, before you leave, like, wo video, like, YouTube pe nikalna hai wo bit. It talks about marriage and all. And it talks about long-term striptease and like whatever. I was solo traveler and all. They're like, are you okay? Can I do it? Like, yeah, do it. I'm like, okay, thanks.
Bach gaye. Oh man, as we come to the end of this, I have to address one thing you said earlier. You said you're just a person where people constantly see the potential in you and push you, and you don't actually do anything. But that's the thing. You are constantly doing things. you're constantly making yourself better. You know, like one thing Manan Desai told me when I had moved to Gujarat all those years ago was, we, whether good or bad, we never get things we don't deserve. Like whether good or bad, like, and we don't, like, how we understand what is deserved is a very twisted thing. It has morality and it has all these other aspects, but all things that come to us are things we deserve. And if you treat the bad things well, and if you treat the nice things humbly, then that's what is going to make you keep deserving better things in life. And I think you're completely off. Okay, you don't just become an actor because somebody told you to. You don't just go and kill at stand-up because somebody pushed you into doing it. You don't just end up doing an MBA and getting placed earlier because somebody pushed you into doing the MBA. Somebody pushed you, but you got the job, and you did the bit, and you did the acting, and you did the reading of the books. You know, I think you're not giving yourself nearly enough credit.
No, I understand what you're saying, but yeah, my point. I'm with you. I agree. I agree with you, because I know that, and in fact, very recently, a close friend of mine in comedy reminded me that I said to her one day the same thing that you're telling me, where I was like, I'm not seeking things outside, but I'm just focusing on becoming better every single day.
Yeah.
But yeah, my point was, there was always someone who came and pushed. Like, if I hadn't met Rahul, I would have continued whatever, Mahindra mein ya DBS mein must job.
Yeah, but that's my point. With someone like you, if it weren't Rahul, it would be someone else.
Maybe.
You draw people towards you.
Maybe.
Is what I'm saying.
I agree with that. And if it was not for you, because I can't help not mention this, if it was not for you, I wouldn't have started stand-up. Because I was very happy. I was doing sketches. Literally the day I met and that conversation happened, I had shot something with Biswa. And I kept saying to people कि नहीं मैं 2-3 मिनट का नहीं करना open mic यार, नहीं होता है 2-3 मिनट का यार, नहीं करता. And then you came and you were like, तेरे को कितना 20 मिनट करेगा यार? Like, oh, this is good. Yeah, let's do. Bring it on. I'll do 20 minutes. And I did.
I though feel like I owe it to comedy. Like comedy has, it's not a exaggeration to say comedy has saved my life. So like if I see somebody else who should be doing comedy and I don't push them for it, so I'm doing disservice to the thing that saved my life only. Oh man, your internet got bad at that point and you just slowed down and slowly zoomed into frame. So yeah, man, I think you don't need to thank me for it at all. I think I was just doing my duty to comedy.
I will always thank you. You know the health status that's happening where I've cancelled everything else, but I did not cancel this podcast.
Yeah, I'm so glad.
Yeah, I'm like, no, I can't cancel this.
Chalo, but yeah, I think we should wrap this podcast because I have to tell you the story I was telling you about when we... about the money thing. You have to tell me a bunch of things as well. Yeah. So that's we're gonna end this podcast here. Sorry, we can't tell you all of the things, but then if I tell you all of the things now, then what will we do 3 years later? You know. So yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense. Thank you so much for doing this, Kumar. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Yeah, and one more shout out to the patrons, guys. You guys, thank you. You are making this happen, and this will keep happening. Almost done with season 1. We're trying to end it by December only. So that by Jan, even if we want to do a season 2, if we can do a season 2, we will figure out how to do it. And that's it for this episode. Take care. Bye bye. Tata, etc.